Hello, friends. It's me. And it's time once more for a story. A neckbeard story. A strange story. I mean, they all are, but I actually kind of know certain things about this one. Not everything, but we'll get into that. Also, this is from Redx's subreddit. I'm totally stealing your story, bro. Love you. Anyway, this is Resistbeard Prologue. A cross-faction encounter. Ooh, dramatic. From Reddit user Adazem. Interesting name. Hey all, I'm a newcomer to the field of neckbeard sciences. Only after some encouragement from a friend have I decided to share my story regarding a beard that I've been running into while out and about. This is a throwaway account that I made because the beard in question is stalking my main account. How creepy. I'm relatively new to posting on Reddit, and I really only lurk and comment on occasion, so I apologize if there's any formatting errors. I'd also like to apologize for my awful writing. English is my first language, so I really have no excuse. Have you ever heard of Ingress? Why, yes I have. It's a mobile game like Pokemon Go. In fact, it's made by the same people. You travel to real-world locations to capture these things called portals for your faction and attack enemy portals to neutralize and claim them. It's kind of like chess meets capture the flag meets king of the hill. Since you travel to physical locations, it's not uncommon to run into other players. It is integral to the run-ins that I've had with this beard. Anyway, now that that's all out of the way, we'll go right into the story of my first encounter with Resistbeard. I myself, about 20-year-old trans woman standing about 6'1", skinny as a stick, an avid Ingress player, and terminally stupid at times. My friend Mars is 19 years old, best friends since childhood, and quite the outgoing guy, introduced me to the game and frequently plays it with me. And then there's RB, short for Resistbeard, the dreaded beard of the story, flabby, creepy, checking nearly all the boxes of the common neckbeard. RB became the bane of my existence since around 2 months ago. So let's start at the beginning. At around the start of November, Mars had shown me Ingress, and I immediately was hooked. I needed something else to get me out of the house, as all I did at the moment were online classes, and work since quarantine began. It also gave me a good excuse to explore the area I live in. It really is fun for that. Mars had joined the Enlightened faction, nicknamed Frog since our faction color is green, when he first started. I had decided to join it as well so we could play cooperatively. That and the Enlightened are a bit outnumbered. Our area had a large number of Resistance members, colloquially known as Smurfs since their faction color is blue, and any Enlightened portals would be quickly neutralized and claimed by them. Fast forward a few days, Mars and I were out near our old high school as there was an abundance of unclaimed portals in the small town and surrounding area. We had just claimed a group of 6 portals and threw shields onto all of them before grabbing lunch at a nearby restaurant. We quickly ate, eager to get back to claiming portals and possibly create a control field over the area. About halfway into our lunch, we began getting notifications that the portals we had just captured were under attack and neutralized. You want to take a wild friggin' guess who was doing it? The both of us weren't too phased, as we're still in the area, we could just go get them back. Heading back out, Mars and I decided to split up and claim portals, slowly working our way back towards the 6th cluster that we had to neutralize and reclaim. We can get more accomplished this way, and hopefully give the person who had attacked the cluster time to leave in order to prevent an in-person confrontation. Despite the fact that the two factions were competing controls over portals, I've heard there's hardly any negativity between them, and the majority of the time players in opposing factions are really friendly towards each other. The community is overall pretty chill. Mars and I knew that if we ran into another player in the area, it'd most likely be a friendly exchange, and we might exchange our Telegram contact information. However, there are a few tryhards that take the game way too seriously, and get really upset if you attack their portals or capturing portals in an area they consider their territory. There's always that one guy in there. Now, in-game, the energy used to attack or claim portals is obtained by walking around. On the map, there's little energy dots that you passively collect to recharge. These dots are synced across all players, so if you're recharging as you walk around, other players will see them disappear. I've heard of people using this mechanic to track down nearby players. I noticed this happening close by whenever I stopped to claim the portal or scouted the area using the in-game map. Being the dumbass I was, I just automatically assumed it was Mars. Oh, but how wrong I was! Turns out the mysterious energy sucker was the neckbeard of the story, the horrible Resistbeard. I look over my shoulder and just saw him kinda standing there, a few dozen feet away, looking down and tapping at his phone. Just glancing at him was my first mistake. It was like the creep could feel the gaze of someone on him, because he almost immediately looked up and gave me a smile and a wave. The guy was wearing a graphic tee of some anime, or Genshin Impact, I don't know what that means, or something, and he began walking towards me. I noticed his beard looked like he had shaved his scrotum and glued the hair to his chin and neck. Hi, can I help you? He stopped about 6 or 7 feet from me. Ingress, right? RB turned his phone towards me, outstretched his arm, and showed me a screen which just displayed the normal in-game map. Yeah, I play it. What about it? Oh, what faction? Enlightened, you. Resistance all the way. You should change teams and you make it a level 4. We can help each other out. He gave me a smile. I felt increasingly uncomfortable just as he sort of stared at me. His yellowing teeth were on full display. No, I kind of want to stay an enlightened agent. His smile disappeared, and he glanced down at his phone for a second. But why? Why would you want to play on the losing team? The beard took a step closer and changed his mind as I stepped back. I wasn't sure if it was out of courtesy, or the fact that I seemed to be following the rules about social distancing, or for some other reason. I still wore a mask even though they weren't required anymore, mainly because it hid my 5 o'clock shadow and slightly dark coloration that stuck around after shaving. I had one of those nice masks that covered part of my neck as well, so it really helped with my dysphoria. I didn't want to look like a dude in girls' clothing. I just like the color green. My friend is also on the same team. RB just nodded, sighing. Guess it makes sense. I mean, we can still help each other out, right? Neutralizing, claiming enemy portals is a great way to get experience points. Maybe we could designate a few in this area where we take turns with them. You capture, and I get them, and do the same, repeat. Sounds good, right? I offered this idea to try and be nice. That, and this guy seemed pretty nice, even if he was a bit weird. I just figured he's still readjusting to the quarantine being sort of over, and he was a tad nervous. I'm level 16. I don't need experience points. I prefer to keep any portals under my faction's control. I'll be willing to make an exception for you, though. Alright. Want to use the group of portals near the 5-way crossroad? I was actually going to suggest that. I just captured them a bit ago. Yeah, my friend and I saw. You're Resistbeard, right? Yeah, RB's the name, and capturing portals is my game. Oh, dear God. I nodded, not sure if I should chuckle at the overused phrase. So I'm assuming you're OP then, or is your username Mars? OP, Mars is my friend. We split up and plan to meet by the memorial fountain at the crossroad. Cool, is she nice? Actually, Mars is a guy. RB seemed a bit disappointed by the fact that Mars is a guy. His tone of voice changed a bit. Oh, are you two dating? No, we're just friends. I'm not dating anyone, why? The beard's tone went back to how it had been when I told him no, Mars and I weren't dating, and that I was single. I was just curious. I've never seen a girl playing Ingress. I assumed that he'd convinced you to start playing because you and him were in a relationship. I didn't notice the sign that he might be a bit misogynistic at first, so I have to admit that the fact that he called me by my preferred gender gave me a small boost of confidence and made me kind of happy. I'd spent a lot of time at home. My parents aren't the most supportive, and I have to hide all of my clothing that they would consider girly or feminine. They always tell me, as long as you live under our roof, you're a man. Oh, fucking kill me. I hate that kind of bullshit mentality. Oh, yeah, just force your kid to be something they're not comfortable with. They totally won't resent you later. That'll super work out for you. We're not in a relationship. He did introduce me to the game, yeah, but I decided to start playing because it seemed fun. Are you enjoying it? Well, yeah, I wouldn't be playing it if I didn't. I guess that was kind of a stupid question. If you didn't enjoy it, I guess you wouldn't play it. Yeah, anyway, you want to join us while we're playing? I wasn't uncomfortable anymore, but I wanted to get back to the fountain and meet up with Mars. It had already been 40 minutes since we split up. We planned to be at the fountain in about 5 more minutes. Yeah, that sounds fun. I'd love to accompany you. Alright, well, he's probably headed to the fountain now. We should get going. Lead the way. I'm actually surprised he didn't say m'lady. I walked back to the crossroads with RB following behind me. On the way, a timer on his phone went off and he told me he had lost track of time and had to leave. We exchanged telegram info and he turned around and left. When Mars and I met up, I told him about Resistbeard. Martin seemed a bit sad that he didn't get to meet him, saying he hardly knows any other local players. I promised him I'd ask RB if he'd be okay with me giving Mars his contact information. Later that day, after I got home, I set up a Telegram group chat with the 3 of us. Mars and RB seemed to hit it off immediately. Things were going really well. Honestly, didn't expect that things would go downhill rather quickly in the coming days. However, I'll save that for the next time. A lot happens over the next week between the three of us. I do plan to continue this regardless of whether or not people show interest. I just want to get my story out there. Pretty busy with work and getting ready to go back to in-person classes though, so it may take a week or two before I get the next one up. Well, that is definitely something. I used to play that game too. I haven't in a very long time. I may have to get back into stuff like that. It is pretty fun, and I do enjoy going on weird hikes and adventures. But, yeah, it seems like you may have met someone who's just a tad overzealous, but then again, we don't know the entire story yet, do we, kids? I guess we'll have to find out in the next part. I really can't say too much about this guy because I don't really know. All I know is he seems a bit weird and kind of creepy and doesn't totally understand everything that's going on, but I can't make a personality or a judgment call because, you know, so far he just seems like your typical mostly harmless neckbeard. A bit misogynistic, a bit weird, but mostly harmless. You know, that old Douglas Adams adage fits pretty well right there. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I have a Ko-Fi and a merch store. You can check those out. Or not. It's really up to you. I'd appreciate it if you did, though. I have my own subreddit, r/Moonhorse Stories. You can go there and submit any stories that you like. Just make sure to tag them appropriately, and I'll definitely check them out. I love you all so very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.